Hello, Ghost friends. It's Kathy here at Spectral Web Services, giving you a little tour of our latest feature, which we're calling the Itty Bitty Ad Server. This is, in fact, an itty bitty ad server. It is not a replacement for Google Ad Manager. It is not a replacement for systems with bidding or anything like that. But if what you have is a handful of local community ads or sponsor messages, or you want to run some in-house sort of donation, sort of messages or those kinds of things, this might be exactly what you need. So let's go ahead and take a look. And yes, it will work on your version of Ghost. It is a code injection solution. It does need an API key. So here we are at tools.spectralwebservices.com. Um, and we're going to, once we're logged in, go ahead and select the itty bitty ad server. It is an alpha. Feature development is ongoing. Please report the bugs you see, and please let me know where it's falling short. But don't send me email that it is not a drop-in replacement for Google Ad Manager. It has less learning curve, less powerful. It is also really quite fast. It's not a big JavaScript load. All right, here we go. So um, once we've got our site set up, and if you don't yet have your site set up, your first step would be add a site and get your keys and such put in. Then we are going on to setting up our ad placement. The easiest option for ad placement is to hit bottom adhesion bar. This is going to give us an ad that shows up at the bottom of the web page and requires no work on your part to figure out where it gets inserted. Um, so we have our bottom adhesion bar that's sticky. We're set here, our defaults are that it has an X, you can close it, and that it would reappear after 5 minutes after you close it. So it doesn't go away forever. And then our audience is that everybody sees it, but if you need to turn that off and maybe your paying members don't get ads, that's an option. And then you can set what paths you want to see it on. So, for example, I'm going to say that I don't want to see it on the home page. Um, and then we need to actually load our advertising. So that was sort of, we've set up our slot. We've said we're going to have a bottom adhesion ad. Now let's add an actual ad. So we're going to call this the Spectral Web Services ad because that's what we're going to load. And that advertising is going to go to spectralwebservices.com. You can adjust whether you want it in a new tab or not. If you have multiple ads, you can adjust the weighting for how much each one of them runs. Um, Set your alt text. And then you can put your disclosure label on it as well. Okay, and then let's go ahead and I've already got some images here, but we will upload an image and we're going to choose, I've got some images in my ad folder. Let's upload this banner image. Uploading an image requires that you've put your admin API key in Ghost. If you prefer to use the image uploader or to use the advertising without the admin API key, you actually can do that, but you'll need to paste the links to your images directly instead of using the uploader. So I'm going to add this banner image, and I'm going to mark that as being for desktop and tablet, but not for mobile, because it really wouldn't work well on mobile. And then let me add a second image, and I'll just click the one I previously put in, put my little card in here, and we're going to make that the image for mobile. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay. And then I could add an additional ad if I wanted to, for example, run somebody else's ads on my site also, and they would rotate through what was showing up in that bottom adhesion bar, but we'll just stick with that for right now. Let's go ahead and let's click Save Settings. Okay. And then if we come on up to the top, we'll see an install link. Let's go ahead and click the install link. You're going to grab this code. While we're here, if you need different breakpoints, maybe your theme, where you want those ads to run is going to change depending on what your breakpoints are. The defaults are probably fine for most people, particularly for the adhesion ad, but you can definitely change your breakpoints as wanted. And that will apply site-wide. It's not a per ad thing, it's per site. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit copy. We're going to go over to our demo site and get into our back end. And then we're going to go to settings and code injection. There it is. Just open it on up. I'm going to drop it in the site footer. It's okay if you already have existing code, just put it in that footer, not in the middle of other code. And then we will go ahead and click save, like so. And then let's get it open and see what we see. I told it not to run on the home page, so it's not going to show up here. Let's go ahead and just click into an ad or into an individual post, and there it is. There's our Spectral Web Services ad. We will go ahead and kick over into mobile mode emulation for just a second so that we can see that we've got a different ad running. Oh, I made a different copy of this ad that was not transparent, which works better in this spot, and I didn't load it. I do not recommend transparent ads as adhesion ads because they end up on top of your content. So you do you. Don't load a transparent ad here like I just did. Okay. So yeah, it is responsive. We got a little flash there while it reloaded. The reality is web devs switch screen sizes a lot. Other people don't. So you probably will not see the screen size. But so we can serve a cube for a phone and we can serve a banner or a leaderboard for desktop. If you want to do a tablet size banner and a big banner, you can do that as well. Just set your breakpoints accordingly. Okay, let's go back in and let's add a second ad. Not here, here. So in our itty bitty ad server under ad placements, we will add an additional ad. This one is going to be a selector placement ad. And we are going to park this one. I need to get back into Ghost, actually. I had worked out what my selector was, and then I forgot. My selector for this is I'm sort of looking for where does this column start so that I can park it. It's GH header left. This is the spot where you may need to consult with somebody who's willing to read HTML for you. The adhesion, I didn't have to do any of this, right? But to park an ad specifically here, I need to look at the code a tiny bit. Reach out if you're stuck. It's easy. I'll also post a list of sort of common targets on common themes. But of course, there are a lot of themes out there these days, which is great. We like choices. Okay, so we are going to set our CSS selector to GH header left, and I'm going to insert inside that at the start. You've got a choice to go before or after the selector you chose, and whether it's inside or just sort of in front of. You may have to play with it a little bit. And I want this one to show on my home page. So this is going to be our SWS homepage ad. We're going to go to Spectral Web Services. We're not going to go to Ghost. That was silly. Okay. And we'll open a new tab. Um, you can do better on accessibility than I just did. And then let's turn our label on for this one. And I'm going to add an image. And I want to, sorry, I actually wanted to upload an image. Let me get this right. I'm going to upload my new version of this image that actually has the background set correctly. It's thinking, there we go. And I'm going to say that that image actually works, I think, on all sizes. Let's try that. You can, just like before, change what you're doing here. You also can say, I don't load this ad slot on this screen size if you want to run an ad on desktop but not on mobile or vice versa. Okay, let's make sure we hit save. And then let's get ourselves on over back to the home page and let's reload. And there it is. That's it. There's our ad. I think for this specific ad, I probably need to monkey around a little bit with getting the advertisement label in a slightly different location. I have set this up for those of you who are a little more technical. The ads don't run in an iframe, so it's super easy if you want to restyle that advertisement label to use a different font. In this case, I think I'd prefer black on white over white on black. You have options there, so lots of good options. Let's do one more thing. Let's click the ad. And it took us where we went. Did you notice that we logged that? Let us get ourselves back over into our tools site and we'll go into analytics. Analytics are not quite live. No, there we go. Okay. You can see some of my playing around yesterday. Um, but one of the things that we see here is so my click that I just did hasn't registered yet because the analytics are a little bit lagged. But you can see the first ad that we installed has had one view, and it was a unique view. We're doing sort of best effort unique views. It's the counter resets every day, and of course, if someone's browsing on their phone and their computer, we're not going to pick that up. Um, but we can give you some sense of we're not going to count somebody who's surfing all around your site on the same day as 20 separate views. The only thing uh, that we record is that there was a view. We actually manage who did the views locally, so we don't actually send that. We track locally. Is this our first analytics event of the day or not? So with the intent here of being very privacy focused, um, and yeah. That's what we've got. So we should see our click propagate through here in a minute, but I think I've got it on 10-minute delay. So you'll have to take my word for it that those clicks are coming. They're just not here yet. Here, actually, we can also see that we can flip between last 7 and last 30. Coming but not implemented yet is giving you a downloadable sort of month by month report that you can grab and share with whoever is running that ad or sponsorship message. So that's all there is to it. Notice that when I added an ad, I didn't have to go back and futz with the code injection or anything. We can manage the whole ad process on the tools website. So I hope you'll check it out. I got tired of people asking for ads, and all they really needed was this. So see if this is what you need. And have a great one. Thanks for watching.